Wow, Fantastic Baby becomes 10 years old on this day in K-pop. 10 years ago, in a world where DJ Peter Lowe was just a young PR baby, and Stephanie was a fantastic Vicky baby starting her first real job, and PD Nim was...
Wait, did I get this details right? She was a freshman in college? No, freshman in high school.
And PD Nim was entering her freshman year in high school, spreading the good word of K-pop to all freshmen. And then the world was changed forever.
Wow, fantastic, baby.
This is the Kpopcast, bringing you the best sounds and ideas in K-pop each week. I'm DJ Peter Lowe.
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm your PD Nim, Michaela.
And this week, we'll be doing a deep dive into Big Bang's Fantastic Baby. But before we dive in, don't forget to join the Kpopcast community on Slack and sign up for hard-hitting editorial on our newsletter. Links to those in the episode description.
Also, don't forget to give us a rating and review. We did all this research and stuff. And if you type in K-pop, into Google, podcasts, we don't even show.
So K-pop is in our name.
Yeah, it's in the name. So please give us a rating. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks. All right, guys. So now let's dive in. Okay, for those of you who have all you new K-pop babies who have no idea who Big Bang is.
You can't be trusted. I'm sorry. If you don't know who Big Bang are, you cannot be trusted.
Yeah, so
are they
Big
ones
Bang
with Jungkook and V?
No.
Okay. I'm lost. I think I might be in the wrong place.
I'm pretty sure BTS paved the way for whoever this Big Bang band is, because if it were for BTS, Big Bang would have never made it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They went back in time to pave the way.
That's right. Yes.
Okay, so let's all go back in time. So this is 2006. Okay, 2006 in Korea. YG has one active boy group called One Time, but they're about to go on hiatus because they all got military. So they're like, what do? Let's just debut a new group. And so Big Bang was born. So Big Bang is composed of 5 members. The leader.
Wait, are we going OT5?
Yes, for now. Yeah. Okay. So the original 5 lineup of Big Bang was G-Dragon, GD, T.O.P, Daesung, Seungri, and Taeyong. But before pre-debut, they had this kind of Big Bang documentary, kind of the making of the group. And originally, there was a 6th member. His name was Jang Hyun-sung. Hyun-sung, right?
Yeah, some of you might know him.
Yeah, so he ended up not debuting.
Wait, really? He was in Big Bang? No.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Look at the old photos.
Oh.
Yeah, so Hyun-sung, you might know him as the former leader of Beast, aka Highlights.
Batiste.
Yeah, so he ended up not debuting with Big Bang back in 2016.
But went on to have a successful career. So just that Big Bang fairy dust helped him out.
So to kind of cue into what Big Bang's concept was at the time of their debut, they were kind of in the shadow of what One Time was doing. So it was kind of a lot of these R&B slow jams and these urban hip hop anthems. is what they would describe as their sound. But it was a very successful debut. They kind of had this image of I think Haejin went into it of being these approachable bad boys that you just want to hang out with in high school.
Approachable bad boys, yes.
Yeah. So
only in K-pop.
They have very successful debut, a lot of fans. But their big hit came out in 2007, which was their hit Lies. That was the first song that had them charting and getting #1 on music shows. And so that's kind of was their big moment in Korea. And so they rode that wave all the way over to Japan and began getting very popular internationally. And then from around 2007 to about 2010, they had a lot of like solo stuff. So like Seungri and T.O.P were acting, Daesung was doing musicals, GD and Taeyong had their solo music stuff coming out at this time. So not only are they getting popular as a group, but they're also getting popular individually in Korea.
Some members were also getting popular for the wrong reasons.
Right, Stephanie, do you want to go into kind of what, the issues that were also going on at this time?
I think it's an important part of the context as we lead up to like the wave of success of Fantastic Baby to note that around 2011 and 2012, some of the Big Bang members got involved in their first scandals. Seungri was involved in his first, I hate to say it, first sex-related scandal out of many that he would become embroiled in. And Daesung in 2011 actually was driving under the influence.
Whoops, we got that one wrong. A quick edit here that Daesung wasn't driving under the influence, but it was later revealed that the motorcycle victim had a blood alcohol percentage of 0.186. So for the record, Daesung wasn't under the influence. Okay, back to the show.
And hit a motorcyclist who passed away. And so both of them. Oh, yeah. And we can't forget G-Dragon was indicted for marijuana usage in 2011. So honestly, as a fan at that time, I was really concerned about the future of the group because like all these members that had scandals, they had to lay low. They had to go on hiatus and just like take time to reflect. And I was really worried that this might be the end of the group and they wouldn't come back. Little did I know.
By the way, just a funny footnote.
Mm-hmm.
G-Dragon didn't know he was smoking marijuana. He thought he was just smoking a cigarette.
Is that his official testimony?
Yes, that was the PR answer.
Might as well.
Yeah.
I remember that. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, so that was like so around 2011, that year there was also the first like unit. So you had like GD and T.O.P coming out with music.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah, and then right at the end of the year, even though they were kind of like in, having a rough time with all the scandal, they won, Best Worldwide Act at the Asia Pacific Region 2011 MTV Music Awards. Yeah, and then in 2012, they come back with their fifth mini album, Alive. It had 3 title tracks, which was Bad Boy and Blue and Fantastic. That's what's brought us here today. Because arguably...
I love all of those tracks.
Yeah,
so
the
different.
whole album is so iconic, but arguably Fantastic Baby is the most iconic song that they have.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pour one out for Haru Haru and all the Dashi Dance produced songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. That was a really quick speed run through all of it. They had a lot more music
I want a
before
quick
this.
shout out to Majima Ginza, Last Farewell.
Oh, yeah.
The more electro sound that
Yes.
came out, I think, 2006.
Yeah. I was saving it for later, but Last Farewell.
That was a Noreban, like, banger hit. Yeah.
Absolutely. Last Farewell laid the foundation for
I think so.
Fantastic
For
Baby.
Lies
100%. Yeah.
Exactly.
Each of those things to build up on that.
That would be one of the closest comparisons if I were to make one.
Yeah. So we also had a chance to connect with our favorite K-pop scholar, Professor Haejin Lee, who's been like quoted everywhere. But we get a chance to still talk to her every once in a while. So here's a recording of my brief chat with her.
Anyway, we're reaching out just because in a couple of days, at least from this recording, Big Bang, one of the most iconic K-pop groups of all time, they came out with one of their ultimate classics, Fantastic Baby. And, for us, it's been one of our all-time favorites, but, we're looking to get more outside perspective on the significance of this song, or if it even was significant. Would love to hear from you. Like, was Big Bang's Fantastic Baby, like, transformative or impactful in the, the broader K-pop context?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. When the song came out, I don't think it gained that much traction because it wasn't even their lead track. I think it was. I mean, that album, it's the Alive album, right? That came out in 2012. And because, you know, you're talking about 10th year anniversary. So it was 2012. And I know if Big Bang by then has become like Korea's number one, like idol group, you know, boy band, girl groups combined. They've been able to like be this very, I know they, I mean, they're kind of like categorized as like the second as the second generation of K-pop group.
Yep.
You know, they were introduced to the Korean public in a very different way, which is more of this friendly idol style that SM hasn't been able to do, because they were more focused on like doing this mysterious, like, you know, presentation of their idols by not sharing like the intimate details of, you know, the everyday life of the idols, like, you know, TXQ back in the day. I think Super Junior was like the alternative, but it was mostly like kind of like, let's keep everything secret, like keep that mystery alive kind of a thing. And YG drops Big Bang, and they're introduced through this reality TV show. So they've been kind of like known as this very like approachable idol group, and their music represented that. Like Haru Haru, Lies, I mean, and what's the remake song? The Sunset. Was it Red Sunset, or what was the title of the song? I can't even remember the title of the song, but it was a remake.
Sunset Glow.
Yeah, Sunset Glow.
Yes,
like so,
good.
those were the songs that allowed Big Bang to be massively popular. And I'm not talking about like confined to fandom. I'm talking about like to the general public. Like people were singing Big Bang songs at norebangs, and they were just like introduced as this very approachable. Like they weren't known for their looks. I know, like, you know, T.O.P is considered to be good looking and all that, but I'm going to be honest with you, they were not known for their looks. They were known for their talent and their approachability and their, you know, and people were kind of like seeing, they liked Big Bang because they were just this friendly, you know, they had this very friendly persona and personality. Before everything, you know, happened. But this was Big Bang, like in the late 2000s, early 2010s. And then several scandals happened. Like GD got into this scandal, like, you know, he got caught smoking marijuana, although like he said that it was an accident. And then Daesung had that car accident where he accidentally killed somebody. So like, and so their future was kind of like put on hold, even though they were like the K-pop group in Korea. And this was before K-pop was like being introduced, like it was being introduced outside of Korea, you know, and K-pop was already popular in East Asian countries, but not in the West, not in the US, but thanks to YouTube, which was still kind of in its early years, was starting to like, you know, like K-pop was starting to kind of like being not introduced, but was starting to like get to areas outside of East Asian countries, and Big Bang was kind of at the forefront of it, but it wasn't like that until 2012, which was also the year that Psy's Gangnam Style came out. So 2012, I think, is like a monumental moment or year for K-pop in general, and
definitely.
And that Big Bang's Alive album was part of it. But what's interesting is that Fantastic Baby, which was in that live album, wasn't their lead track. It was kind of hidden, and it didn't really do well on the streaming charts because it's not a song that you listen to. It's a song that you watch, and that's when people start to understand K-pop as a visual music through music videos and all that. But a lot of songs that were coming out from the idols were very, like were pretty catchy and were songs that people could sing along with. It was, you know, people were streaming it and listening to it. And I'm not saying that Fantastic Baby isn't that. It's just that it wasn't the song that people like Korean people in general were listening to, because they were listening to Big Bang's more like easy listening pop or R&B style song. Like, you know, like, was it Lovesick that was in that album? Or Love Song, not Lovesick, that's TXT song. I get all my titles mixed up. Love Song, right? Yeah, the Love Song, and then or Bad Boy. It was just like more easy listening kind of song that Big Bang was known for. And then Fantastic Baby comes out in this electro pop, and it really kind of changed the style of Big Bang after that, which led to like Bang 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 and more like electro, Like we see Big Bang moving away from more like, Black music, because they were known for doing like hip hop and R&B. And they were kind of like moving more towards electropop and pop. And I think like the turning point was Fantastic Baby. And that's the one that actually people in the West responded more favorably than in Korea. Koreans loved it too, but they didn't really get to know the song until the music video dropped, and it was just starting to accumulate massive numbers, mostly outside of Korea, because I think I read that only 30% of the numbers, or less than 30% of the numbers, were coming from Korea. So it was mostly the people outside of Korea who were listening or watching Fantastic Baby. But it's one of their most popular, I wouldn't say popular song, but popular music videos for sure. I think it's still number one. Like it's their most popular. I think it's the most watched music video that they have on YouTube. And
I didn't realize that.
I think so. I think it's number one. I think it has more than 500 million. I have to check, but I know that like Psy's Gangnam Style was like the first K-pop music video to hit like 100 mil, and I think the next one was Big Bang, and it was the song that I think allowed people to see the potential of Big Bang doing well in the West, because that's also the album that Big Bang did to do their first world tour, which was successful. And then like elevated Big Bang. It's not just like a domestic K-pop artist or K-pop group, but as like a global K-pop group, or a group that has the potential to make it big in the West, because they were already popular in Japan and in Asia.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what. Yeah, that's what I have.
Is there anything that you would? Are there any other, like you said, like most streamed? I think actually, as of like a couple days ago, it was ranked as like the number 31 or like 32nd, somewhere thereabouts, in terms of like most viewed K-pop music video of all time.
I mean, well, because like BTS is about like 20 of them, so they got like that, and then Blackpink. So yeah, I mean now like a K-pop group hitting 100 mil is not a news anymore. It's common. Right. But when Big Bang did it, it was pretty new. So it was monumental back then, and I think it was the song that really showed or displayed Big Bang's potential as an international group, not just like K-pop group. That was like the moment when Big Bang started to become more like, I think they still had that. They did present themselves as more like friendly to the general public, but that was also 2012 was also the moment when we see like K-pop changing from like music that appeals to the general public to music that appeals to fandom. It was that transitional moment in which Fantastic Baby came out. But Big Bang had already achieved that massive fandom, not just fandom, but massive like popularity with the general public. And I feel like Big Bang probably is like one of the last groups that have had that experience. A lot of, boy bands or K-pop groups that we see today don't have the mass appeal anymore. They just appeal to fandom. So if you're not a part of the fan, you're not really familiar with the songs or with the members of another group that you don't follow. And this has to do with the shift in the media landscape, both here and in Korea, and also generational shift as well. But yeah, Big Bang, I feel like is like one of the last K-pop groups that have achieved massive popularity in terms of being able to appeal to a wide group of people, just fandom. And then that kind of disappeared. And people can talk about like the popularity of BTS and all that, but BTS's popularity is based on their recognition outside of Korea, and then people like going, I need to check it out, because it seems like a lot of people outside of Korea are liking them. So it's like kind of like reverse, which, wasn't the case with Big Bang. Big Bang was just like loved by a wide group of people in Korea because their songs were just so approachable. A lot of people could just like listen and sing along. And that kind of started to change with, I'm not saying that they stopped making those kind of music, but the music that they really pushed forward were more like, I wouldn't say hardcore, but that was more pleasant for the eyes than the ears, maybe. Or maybe this is me being an old person who likes to listen to some of their, I don't know, a particular kind of song. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of encapsulates all these transitions that were happening in the Korean media industry, in the K-pop world, and the global fandom. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. For you, just personally speaking, like, is there anything that you're going to remember Big Bang's Fantastic Baby by?
G-Dragon's Rapunzel hair.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. That's the only. I know that's one of the things that people comment the most about, like that long pink hair. And I mean, for me, like watching Fantastic Baby music video is fun, but for me, what's more entertaining is watching reaction videos of Fantastic Baby, like people commenting on it and reacting to it. I think there's greater pleasure in that, because that music video, like, it has just so many things going on. And I just think that people's reaction to the music video is more entertaining than the music video itself. I mean, music video is like pretty captivating too and eye-catching, but it's the people's reaction, especially like when it's people's reaction to the music video, the visuals that I find more entertaining.
You find it entertaining just the way people are just kind of like shocked or surprised, like that real visceral factor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the gut reaction to all these visual images that come out. And also like doing a comparison between like the K-pop fans, like who are already familiar with Big Bang reacting to it, and then like non-K-pop fans reacting to it, and kind of like getting a taste of what K-pop is. It's pretty interesting to do that comparison as well.
What differences have you noticed between those two audiences?
I mean, those who already know Big Bang are like, they're able to respond to like individual members, like, like when like Taeyang and Daesung, when they're, I think they have like shirtless scenes, they were like react to it. It's mostly women, by the way. So it's just women who would like go crazy when they see these like hot bodies being on full display, and not excluding men too. Men can react, It's just like, it's just that. So like when you watch it, it's like, oh, like that's so funny, like, the thirst videos of, I think that's how it is labeled, but just those kind of reaction compared to like people who have never seen K-pop go, wow, like I didn't know it was this visually like impactful, or kind of like getting introduced to K-pop, not through a song, but through K-pop as a visual medium. I think it's like really interesting. I don't know if like Fantastic Baby is a gateway to K-pop for a lot of people, but I think it really changed the visuals and the style of music video that came after Fantastic Baby. Definitely changed Big Bang's style of music too.
Oh yeah, 100% that. Like I'm just thinking like Haru Haru, like this like emotional, like emo punk kid. Yeah. And now it's like, what the heck is this? They're rebellion, all these interesting themes.
Yeah, like very dark and edgy. I mean, like Big Bang tried to do edgy, but it was very like cute kind of edgy.
It was very colorful.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about like the music videos of Haru Haru or Lies, they try to be like rebellious, but within the acceptability of the Korean culture, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
right. But then the edginess gets like, they up a notch or a couple notches with Fantastic Baby. It doesn't make sense at all. Like, all these visuals that are coming out, it's very like anarchistic, and I don't even know, like I haven't really read any theories behind the visuals that are in display, but it definitely changed the characteristics of Big Bang music and Big Bang music videos. Yeah, for sure. And it also saved Big Bang's career, because remember, this was after two major scandals for the group. They came up with this album, and they were able to actually become more successful, not only with the Korean public, but internationally. That allowed him to do world tours, like for several years before they went to do the military service. So I think it just is very monumental in that sense for the group. But I think it also shows that, like, you know, like the reason why Big Bang isn't able to come back, even though everybody's back from the military, it's been a while, is because of the sense of betrayal that the public, not the fandom, the public feels for the group. Remember, this was a group that rose because of the general population's or the general public's popularity, not just the fans' popularity. So I think, yeah, I mean, this is something that I'm thinking about. It's not like, you know, this is something I need to think about more, but I'm like always thinking about why is it so hard for Big Bang to make a comeback and what the scandal means. Because a lot of groups have been mired in scandal, but Big Bangs seem to be bigger. And not because it is a bigger scandal, but I think it's also the sentiment that the Korean public, like the sense of betrayal and a sense of, I don't know, a lot of letdown that they feel after all of these things that have happened, which makes it difficult for them to come back, maybe. I don't know. That's something to think about.
Yeah. Well, probably a topic for another time, but I think we'll wrap it there.
Okay.
I think it's so funny how you said like, well, you don't have much to say, and then you give me all that.
I don't know. I just, you know, it just came out like, blah, you know.
No, that's really,
you know,
it's really good content, Jen. It's really helpful. That'll really add a lot of context and color for the episode. So really, really, really appreciate it. I know your time is precious.
Yeah. So if like expanding a little bit about what she was talking about, where she's talking about, you know, Fantastic Baby wasn't necessarily popular with the Korean public because in 2012, you know, there was actually this kind of break a little bit from the dominance of idol groups in mainstream music in Korea, because prior to this, we had about 4 years of this rise of these audition programs like Superstar K, Voice Korea, K-pop Star. And so you had a lot of these soloists coming up from those shows, these soloists and these bands and these other like more indie groups coming up and, you know, becoming very popular in Korea and staying on the charts after they, you know, debut on these shows.
And like, the style that a lot of these artists brought to the audition shows and took with them after was really like melodic ballad or romantic pop or some R&B. None of these artists that came out of the show like debuted with an electro pop, techno or anything like that. So yeah, the music scene was more smooth.
Yeah, most famously Busker came off of, I think they were on Superstar K, I think maybe like the first or second season, and they came out and became really popular in Korea. And that year, I believe in 2012, they won the Melon Music Award for Album of the Year, which had the whole fandom shook because people wanted big like BAP and EXO and all of them to get it. But names. No, the Korean people spoke and they wanted Cherry Blossom Ending to win Album of the Year that year because that was what they were listening to, that like easy listening melodic
guitar
music. Yeah.
No, that's a great point to just set the stage for like how Fantastic Baby was out of left field in so many ways. Yeah, because
she mentioned this idea of betrayal, and it's because YG at the time, like they were at the top. Like especially in 2012, you had like comebacks from all of their artists. You had like Seven had a comeback, Epic High had a comeback, you know, Big Bang, you know, had their comeback.
2NE1. Yeah.
So they were dominating the scene as far as like, you know, releases, and they've always had this concept of YG family. So it makes, you know, this idea of like all these groups are kind of like this one thing, and especially since she's mentioning how the public felt betrayed, like when you're coming off of like, oh, we're just like you, and then you get into all these scandals, you can understand why people would not necessarily want to see them charting on so well after all that.
All right. Well, that all said, let's react to the greatest K-pop song of all time. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that, but it's a memorable song.
Greatest song of 2012, I think.
It is.
Okay, I mean, not song, but like, you know, we're talking about impact on.
I think,
K-pop
history of K-pop can be measured before Fantastic Baby and after K-pop.
Yes.
Fantastic Baby. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So, hey, podcast listeners, if you want to follow along with us, we're watching Big Bang Fantastic Baby in 3, 2, 1, go. Got the owl and the
Look at
Rapunzel
the
locks.
hair. Fruit roll up hair.
Stop
And the Beetlejuice
music.
suit.
We've got the establishment,
throne.
the authoritarian regime.
The longest weave of all time.
Molotov cocktail. And Taeyong
Taeyong on
warming
the
up
throne.
from his icy kingdom. I love this build.
Iconic introduction.
Wow. Fantastic, baby.
Woo! Everybody's dancing. Clash between protesters and police. Ahead of their time.
Because the signs say like no dance, no music.
But of course they want to dance.
I love that there's just like battle going on behind G-Dragon. He's just like pieced out on his throne here.
Above it all.
Yeah.
Catch me on fire.
I love how like
There he is.
T.O.P.
The
he
man.
hates dancing, so they gave him all the still scenes where he's like stuck as a frame. I love how the music just dropped out for him to do that end of that rap, that verse.
I think the lyrics of this song are definitely written with international fans in mind. There's so much English, so much nonsense English, especially, that you can feel like you're singing along to the song and miss like half of it. But who cares?
Yeah, that's what makes it an anthem. It's so easy just to get hyped to.
Okay, this is the most iconic loop of all time, right here from T.O.P.
Oh, yeah.
Is it here?
Here we go. Hey.
Boom shakalaka. Dance, dance, dance,
It's on
dance,
all the
dance.
DJ
I wonder
sample
how many
boards everywhere.
times like fans notice Top on the street and just yell at him, boom shakalaka. I wonder if he's tired of that.
Yeah. These cat ladies clawing at Sungri.
Yep.
Reminds me of a lot of ex-girlfriends
Ha
from my bachelor days. Green eyebrows.
Green eyebrows. Yeah, I just noticed that. Why not?
The lipstick. Lip art.
Wow.
I love these builds. The pre-chorus.
I love the contrast of like Daesung in like the nice suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daesung
Yeah.
is like dressed normally.
Of course, Taeyong is
Suffering
shirtless.
from his shirt allergy.
Wow. Fantastic, baby.
There we go.
Ooh. Okay, these are some classic Big Bang outfits.
Yeah.
But
Really
see,
colorful blazers.
yeah. Very much the YG fashion at the time.
Yeah,
That 2NE1 was also rocking.
Like that is YG fashion. 2NE1 has those same outfits.
Yeah. I love how they have the, what do you call those? The lion dancing thing?
yeah, Korean lion dancers.
I love this final chorus.
People taking their masks off and dancing freely. We are liberated. Now this ending of the music video, yeah, where they're
The
just like
Kings.
dancing, bouncing, all having a good time. Check out like all of the YG artist music videos to follow.
I was gonna say
and,
the
like,
same thing.
performances.
Right.
Icon videos all end like this. 2NE1 videos, a lot of them end like this.
Well, I actually looked into that, Stephanie, that very
Oh,
point.
really?
Like, so in other words, the quote
The
unquote,
chorus, yeah.
the YG third chorus party chorus.
Yes.
Right? So
Hey.
it looks like this wasn't the first as much as I wanted it to be.
Okay.
A certain song in 2011 by a girl group known as 2NE1. Yeah. So
Did they do it in I Am the Best?
they did.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. My girl.
Yes. Yes, but certainly I think that this cemented the YG third party
like,
chorus.
oh, this is a YG thing.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
Yeah. So as Stephanie was saying, like visually everyone's partying out on the third chorus, which common formula we see today. But also sonically, instrumentally, you're getting the addition of new instruments, new percussive elements. Bang, bang, bang. 3 years later, took that to 11, and they just did like Teddy different song now. So,
right.
Yeah.
Woo. What
Anyway,
a party. I'm like out of breath.
Yeah. I think that what stood out to me at that time, V for Vendetta, I guess, came out a few years prior, but I was thinking of like Anarchy, Rebel, Rise Up, stop the authoritarian regime who doesn't want you to like music, because they want. I mean, it's stupid and cliche, as if all authoritarian regimes just don't want you to have fun or be happy, but oversimplifying it. But still, I get it. Like I like it, and it resonates with me. And just seeing the rising up against the powers that be. And the mask coming off at the end feels like, COVID's over.
Yeah, exactly. It takes on new meaning 10 years later.
Watching it in 2022.
Uh-oh.
Gosh.
All those people in close quarters.
Right.
In a pandemic. No, wait.
So, Michaela, ultimate research whiz here at the Kpopcast. We should call you like the K-pop professor here or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
So tell us what the song is about. Clearly, we're inferring stuff as we just discussed from what we're seeing and hearing.
Yeah, but that's looking at the visuals. Looking at the lyrics, though, obviously we've got iconic moments of boom shakalaka.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's very clear that this is this is a hype song. It's a party anthem. But if we want to take a little bit from the lyrics, I don't know, maybe this is me reaching, but I feel like I went back and I was looking at like what people were writing about at the time. And I really like this thing that Tamar said when she wrote about this in Billboard back in like 2017, where she talked about that, the Fantastic Baby is like a futuristic world tinged with like traditional Korean elements. And so I was like, okay, let me see if I can find where those Korean elements were, because all I'm thinking about is like, I want to dance and boom shakalaka and stuff like
that's
that.
not Korean.
Right?
Well, it is now.
It is now, yeah.
Yeah, because in the video we talked about they have the line dancing, and so that's a very visual cue. But in the lyrics, I found it interesting because we were talking about before this with Nalili Mambo and Naria or Niliria. These are examples of these what's called as gyeonggi minyo, or like traditional Korean folk songs that have these onomatopoeia words like Niliria. And you hear those kind of that sound, that word niriria a lot in kind of reference in the first part of the song where GD kind of is like, we're gonna party like li-di-di la-da-da. Huh? Yeah. So kind of if you add like an N sound, it's like niriria. Yeah. No?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Well, just that these kind of sounds that you would traditionally find in more Korean music. I feel like maybe that's one little element that you hear in like some of these ad libs in the song. But again, it's just a party anthem.
I'll take it. Yeah,
that's all I got.
Yeah. So we were talking about it when we were watching the music video, and we all paused because that iconic moment happened where T.O.P. had his verse. He said, boom shakalaka.
We were like, wait for it.
Yeah. There are plenty of memes around looping just that, and like, having a 10-hour loop of just him saying boom shakalaka, dance.
That's a whole song. Yeah.
Yeah. Right there. What, Stephanie, I feel like years ago, you and I, we went to like Cape, like, what is it, on Santa Clara, karaoke. Well, I'm trying to remember the like.
Oh gosh! Wow.
But I remember we sang
Blast
that
from the past.
We sang that song, And my one line was boom shuckle.
I was like, Peter, help me out. Sing it with me. And he was like, I can do Top's part. Okay. Not the rap, just the boom shakalaka.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I'm sure that exact scenario played out in norebangs all across the U.S. of like Americans who can't sing the Korean part but choose that song anyway because of all the English.
Yeah.
And all the like jumping around on the couch you can do.
PDNM, you reminded us of this in preparing for this episode, but we've got a K-Popcast episode in the K-Popcast Dungeon.
We do.
Which hasn't been published yet, but
no.
I guess for a 2012 look back episode, I said on that episode that this song is a song of rebellion, fighting against the man to bring freedom and liberty in music. Just quoting myself because I'm so full of myself. Okay. Shall we talk about the music? You guys want me to dive into that?
Go for it.
Yeah, let's get into it, Peter.
Let's hear it.
So I was looking at like, okay, what was trending in K-pop music in terms of like production styles at the time? And 2012 is a special year because I remember in Western music, we're also starting to see the rise of big room house, EDM, anthems, that sort of stuff, really taking off into the mainstream in 2012, at least for Western music circles. So not that like any of these things happen in isolation, nor are they directly transactional or correlative, but you hear echoes of these things in different music circles. So around this time, you're also getting songs like 4 Minutes Volume Up, which was very much very similar tempo, but like, a big EDM drop song. I also want to compare this with Girls This Day, Oh My God, or Oh My God. Don't forget Crayon Pop's Bar Bar Bar. I know a lot of people
that was
have
back in 2012?
Yeah, people have a love-hate relationship with that song. But sonically, I would say very similar, like identical BPM. So the style, the electronic dance music style that this is most proximate to, again, not exactly, but most proximate to, is probably Dutch house and electro. So a lot of electro and Dutch house influences that year in particular. Dubstep was also popular for breaks around that time, but they did not use the dubstep break in the song as much as that was popular.
Yeah.
And
gosh, I'm getting flashbacks to college. Like,
yes, right.
Oh man. Yeah.
But I think it really says something when I was watching this music video and preparing for this episode, and the YouTube recommendation system algorithm played the next song for me, and that next song was, yes, you guessed it, Psy's Gangnam Style.
Oh yeah.
We reference it. It came like a few months after, right? And also that song changed the world of K-pop. But when you look sonically, instrumentally, very, 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 very similar.
Very similar.
So I think if you look at the synth and the harmony for both those songs, they're very clearly inspired by the whiny, high-pitched synths that you get on a lot of Dutch house songs. Afrojack was really popular around that time. I freaking hate Afrojack, but you can hear the melody from a lot of Afrojack songs, inspiring the harmonies that you're hearing in these two songs in K-pop. So I'll play a mashup of Gangnam Style and Fantastic Baby right here.
오빤 강남 스타일 강남 스타일 강남 스타일 오빤 따뜻한 스타일 낮에는 따사로운 인간적인 여자 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 품격 있는 여자 밤이 오면 심장이 뜨거워지는 여자 그런 반전 있는 여자
Wow.
So you can hear that they're very similar. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about this, but wow, Fantastic Baby, I think I've said numerous times on this podcast before, is a favorite sample of mine to play as a DJ. Maybe here. I'm trying to see.
Do it.
like unplugging all the things. Here we go. Okay. So
Hey. Whoa.
it occupies this button on my DJ controller. So, you know,
on the speed dial.
Yeah, that's right. So like oftentimes when I'm doing like a K-pop gig and there's like performances, and like someone does a really great performance and like, you know, the music clears and maybe there's the applause from the audience, I'll just hit that button and it goes, wow, fantastic, baby. And it usually gets a chuckle from the audience. So
and more applause erupts. Yeah, for sure.
Right. Okay. As you heard from Heijin, this cemented their movement for electronic infused sounds. Dance and electronic infused sounds moving forward for Big Bang.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Stephanie.
Yeah.
How was the song received?
Yeah, so just building on what Professor Heijin was sharing about how, you know, contrary to what maybe U.S. fans or international fans may think, Fantastic Baby was not that popular as a song streaming in Korea, but actually like took off viral on YouTube in the international fan and non-fan circles. And then after that virality was when the Korean audience started to pay attention and go watch it. And, you know, Miss Papa YG himself, Yang Hyun-suk, commented kind of sounding shocked or surprised, like, wow, I guess Fantastic Baby is Big Bang's most popular track. You know, he was kind of surprised, I think, by how well it performed, like commenting on the YouTube stats in particular. He said, you know, we're thrilled to have received such explosive response to this song after so long, right? This song, he says, marks Big Bang's return to their electro sound 5 years after the release of their popular single Last Farewell, 마지막 인사. So he brings up that comparison. He's surprised by the YouTube popularity. And so that just gives a snapshot of maybe the tale of two worlds in K-pop that we were talking about before. Like continuing on with the international success, if you take a look at the Billboards, if you take a look at the charts on Billboard, for example, that week that Big Bang came out with Fantastic Baby, they took up half of the Billboard top 10 K-pop chart spots of the week, like that the Alive album came out, dominating, pushing all other K-pop artists down the list. So it just like made all of these waves because of international acclaim. In terms of the impact that Fantastic Baby had on, you know, culture and trends and like international media abroad, a couple of examples were that the song was featured on an episode of Glee, the U.S. really popular TV show that year. Also in, I think, 2015, the song was featured in the trailer for Pitch Perfect 2, an American movie. And for those of you who follow like pretty big Asian American YouTube stars like Philip Wang and Niga Higa, they made a little like K-pop comedy project group called BGA, and in their debut video totally copied the outfits and hairstyles from Fantastic Baby. So in the Asian American like pop media community, this song made a splash as well.
Yeah. I mean,
that's just really what
yeah, like the fact that they copied it shows you that they knew that it would be a common pop culture reference that everyone would get.
Yes.
Like it just shows you that like, oh, I know which member of Big Bang you're pretending to be.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, Phil Wang had the long G-Dragon hair, like flopped to the side.
They call it like the seaweed hair, right? The
seaweed hair, ew. It just like flops around and slaps you in the face. And then one, I guess all of us here have been to K-pop concerts, right? We've been to a concert of our favorite idol, and we have that one song that we go there to hear. Like one song that they better play or I am walking out disappointed. In Big Bang's 2015 concert tour for the next album, Made, which is the album after Alive, Big Big Bang actually chose to end their entire concert with the Fantastic Baby performance. So 3 years later, a whole album later, they ended their concert with Fantastic Baby in all of the shows in Korea and in the international tour. So if that doesn't tell you how big it is for their fan base and for them as a group, I don't know what does. Yeah, were there any other like bullets that you guys wanted to pull out from here? There's so much stuff.
I guess the only thing I would add to that list is that something that it was a small thing, but something that I found really cute was in 2013. They performed the song at Mama that year.
Ah, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And, Big Bang being the jokers that they are, they went over to the section where all the other K-pop idols were, kind of off to the side. And they started like peer pressuring the other idols in that section to dance with them. So they really put the pressure on Lee Hyori in particular, who they had done other collaborations with at that point.
They're Nuna.
Yes. But they even said on the mics like, Lee Hyori! Really put her on. and she did, her own little dance. And also members of Girls' Generation, SNSD, also danced on stage with them to Fantastic Baby.
Those were the days.
Yeah. If you guys haven't watched like a music like award show, like everybody's so awkward and like professional when they're sitting. So it's like very, very rare for them to be like getting hyped like that during an award show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never see that now.
No.
So definitely, like if you haven't watched Mama award shows from like 10 years ago, pull them up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a lot more crossovers back in those days.
Right.
True. Yeah.
I think people are just too afraid now of warring fandoms.
Ugh. Yeah.
But
good old
that was
days.
something we glossed over was that when before 2NE1 debuted, like they had like the Lollipop collaboration with Big Bang.
Lolly. We can forget about that.
No, we can't. I think we have to remember that was the most popular song for both. One of the most popular songs for Big Bang and 2NE1, and it was a commercial.
It was a straight up commercial. You know how I feel about songs that are commercials.
CFs. Yeah.
CF. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, let's wrap this up. Like, clearly we chose to talk about this song because it's 10 years later, and we know that maybe in a few weeks' time, maybe a month's time, sometime this quarter, Big Bang, the most definitely incredible, are coming back again. So question mark on what that will look like and who will include and to what extent.
When that will be, who knows?
Yeah, but anyway.
Well, that's even what Daesung said on his little...
What did he say?
His drummer channel?
Yeah, displayed his alter ego on YouTube where he was like, yeah, so the music video is going to come out. Leave in the comments what you think that'll be.
What? Oh, he doesn't even know. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. It's totally trolling that dude.
Mm-hmm. He was always a clown.
Yeah. My favorite voice, actually, out of Big Bang. I think what's so great about Big Bang, they each have very distinctive voices.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heijin touched on it, but just to add further, in terms of its like global reach as a group, Big Bang is one of the few groups in K-pop that has equal gender fandom and interest. Like the dudes really love Big Bang, and it's because it's just as resident like hetero dude. Like I'll just say it's because it's just such like out there music concepts and styles. It's just goofy, and it's not like they're trying to be the cute boy that you put on your phone or on your Twitter avatar. Like they're just trying to be like, hey, we want to be either kitschy or larger than life or
make you laugh.
Make you laugh or go for art. So
that's so true. That is a great point.
Yeah. So from this point on, like, it was just, we just saw a lot more EDM stuff from Big Bang. Like, how could they not, after Fantastic Baby, and the way it just erupted.
And the outfits just got more and more crazy. It set the bar for them really high.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that.
Didn't even talk about the Monster video.
Monster, dude.
from the Alive album.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Final words?
I don't think so. I'm so glad that we took time out of our day to, give thanks to to one of our favorite groups on the Kpopcast for blessing us with one of the best vessels to spread the good word of K-pop in Fantastic Baby.
Sorry, I forgot to do one thing.
What?
Sorry. Maybe we can change the editing around. I want to ask each of you what Fantastic Baby means to you. I want to hear both of your separate answers on that. But before I do, let's hear from What in the K-pop, who also shared their emotional, impactful, philosophical reflection from this song.
Hey, what's up, Kpopcast? My name is Yvette, and I'm from What in the K-pop podcast, and here's my special memory from Big Bang's Fantastic Baby. First of all, this was my first K-pop song ever, and my best friend wanted to show me Fantastic Baby MV, and I was like, sure, why not? Let's do it. And all I remember is G-Dragon on his throne with 40 feet of like hair extensions, and I was like, yes, king, let's get it. And then by the end of it, I fell in love with Big Bang and their music, and I had no knowledge of K-pop culture until 2016, where it happily claimed my soul, and now I've been here ever since. So happy 10th anniversary, Big Bang. Thank you, Kpopcast. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And thank you.
Yeah, it's probably a gateway for a number of people. But I don't know if you guys had any other thoughts.
That was what we talked about in our 2012 recap, that, yes, Gangnam Style had the numbers, but Fantastic Baby is what pulled people in.
Yes. I mean, that's what I would say in terms of what it means to me is when it came out, I immediately knew this is a song that I can share with my non-K-pop fan friends, that this will just blow them away in terms of production value, in terms of catchiness, in terms of humor, the fashion. It's just on another level. So I was just like so thankful, because I was just like Michaela. I think I was on a mission to spread K-pop to as many people as possible. So Fantastic Baby was just a gift to let me do it. And to this day, when I send people curated, tailored K-pop playlists to introduce them, Fantastic Baby is on there without a doubt 10 years later.
Is it on the Western friendly, the WTF?
Wonderful Treasure Find.
What's the third category? Is it a classic or is it something new?
Ooh.
So which category do you put it in?
I think it hits all three, Peter. I think it is just like all four. It's like golden essence of K-pop to the brim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It has elements of all of those.
Okay. Michaela, what does this song mean to you?
This again, like Stephanie said, this was one of those gateway songs that I used to spread the word of K-pop to, the people at my school. And for me, like my iconic memory of like this song for me is like when, I was able to like make my little group of K-pop friends, and we all pushed for this song to be played at our prom. And so the last song that they played at our prom was Fantastic Baby. And so the last thing we did was just get hyped to this song, and then we all went home. But
what a memory. Damn.
it was I remember like just like looking around at all my friends. This was like the end of high school, the prom, and it was just that's what I think of when I think of Fantastic Baby, is that moment of enjoying the song with other people and having fun with other people.
Mm-hmm. Best enjoyed in groups.
Yeah.
What about you, Peter? What does it mean to you?
It's right now, like I tag it as a K-pop classic song in my DJ crates and playlists and whatnot. So, it's, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a Hail Mary track, but if you're doing a gig where Gen 2 people are present, which is almost all K-pop 21 and up gigs nowadays, you definitely play that song. And I even remember way back when I was DJing K-pop in 2012. It was a fun classic song then. It also made for a lot of great mashups. Maybe I'll drop in some on this episode, but like it was a mashup friendly song.
Yeah, in the outro.
Yes, in the outro. Yeah, but boom shakalaka, T.O.P.
Boom shakalaka.
Yes, well said. Well said.
Okay, so don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. Please give us a rating if you enjoyed this episode. Please go to Google Podcasts. Please go to iTunes. Please go to Spotify. Please go to what else does ratings? Whatever platform you're listening on, and give us like all the stars. And just
Twitter if you're listening to this in the future.
because Twitter is going to add podcasts, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's more on the production end. I don't know if it's on the listening end. I think they're just going to take
you can tweet about us. Tweet us. We reply. We love people tweeting to us.
Yeah. Hey, like we actually reply to each and every one of you. Because there's not that many.
Don't say that.
Oh, whoops. Yeah. So please talk with us. Join us in the Slack, which we might be changing to a Discord in the future. I don't know. Let us know what you think. And next week, what are we doing next week? Probably hit replay, or maybe we'll take a break.
Stray Kids.
Maybe Stray Kids.
Yeah. Maybe we'll finally drop that 2012 rewind.
No way.
Maybe 2012 rewind episode. Okay.
Stay tuned. Subscribe. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit the 5 stars button. Right, like a long essay talking about how the Kpopcast has changed your life and has made you a better person.
If we keep holding people, they're gonna write a really long bad review.
All right. So that's it. I'm Pretentious Reviews. Bye everyone. I'm at DJ Peter Lowe. Play your thing and then that's it.
I'm at SParker2 on Twitter.
I'm at Michaela J Kpop on Twitter.
And we're all at the Kpopcast. All right. See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.